Well, all right, here we go. Okay, so this is like take number. Oh god, this damn thing is still funky. I just can't reach it. I just fucking microphone this morning. All right, so this is like attempt number 5 for me to try to do this tonight. So I'm gonna try to do this real quick and do it in a real quick kind of way so that we can do it real quickly. That was really not eloquent at all. Here we go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the episode. What was it? The jazz hands. Hi, how you doing? Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. What is up, everybody? As I hit myself in the ear. Really? Is that done now? Is that... There we go. What is up, everybody? How are you doing? Welcome to the Robservation. It's good to see you all here. I'm your host, Master Ceremonies Darkside Rob. As always, it's very good to be back. I know there's been a bit of a delay on this episode, but we've had some things to deal with. I've recorded this like 8 billion times. This is like attempt number. I've lost count. It's like 4 billion, whatever. We've got a quick thing to talk about tonight, and it's really quite simple. Net neutrality is back in the discussion again. Ajit Pai, the guy that this new administration has tasked with being the head of the FCC, is a huge opponent of net neutrality. For those of you who don't know what net neutrality is, you guys should take a look at a link that I'm going to post down in the description below. But the basic idea is that no matter what kind of internet you have, whether it's a high quality or low quality internet, you should be able to access the same websites as everybody else, whatever website you want, whatever content you want on the internet, indiscriminate of where it's coming from. The basic example being, here's a fast lane, here's a slow lane. Anybody who pays extra money can use the fast lane. Anybody else gets caught waiting for their website to load 3 weeks from next Sunday, which would actually be 4 weeks. Never mind. So the basic idea is that the guy who's going to be tasked with leading all of this, you know, basically everything that deals with media and the internet and phones and everything like that, he's not a big fan of it. And basically what I have to say is that gamers, we need to fucking unite and make our voices heard again about protecting net neutrality. Because once again, for people who speak about the First Amendment, for people who speak about people who want to say, do, and make points, whether it's, you know, to the left or to the right. I know I did those backwards, but fuck it, let's go with it. The idea is that net neutrality allows everything and everyone and every video, music, website, business, anything that's put on the web to be able to reach an audience that it's trying to get to. And again, I'm a big proponent of the First Amendment. I think a lot of people are. I think it's kind of one of those things that's pretty fucking awesome that we have in this country. And then it's amazing that, you know, we have other countries around the world that basically are jealous of us because they don't have it and they want it themselves. But the truth is that net neutrality, which was established by Thomas Wheeler with the Obama administration, is now under fire again after years and years and years of people who use the internet every day speaking out en masse, in force, basically saying, we want our internet protected so that we can use it and know fundamentally that it is protected for us and that it is there when we need it and we can access things without being worried that the content and the messages and the things that we want to put out there and have other people receive is going to get to its intended target. That's an important thing. And once again, we now need to say, you know, Mr. Pi 3.14. No, I'm kidding. We have to say, Mr. Pi, you're going to listen to all of us. We're going to stand up and we're going to say, you don't like net neutrality, but hey, guess what? We the people? Yeah, remember, that's the first part of the Constitution. We the people, we like net neutrality. We want net neutrality, and we need people working for us who are going to protect the things that the people like, because this is really an important one. And it, you know, it sticks in my craw when people take stuff for granted. And people don't understand how important things are and that people need to keep fighting for things. Yes, we have net neutrality now, and there's a blind spot, and people forget that, like, well, without net neutrality, games could potentially be harder to get and download because people could pay and force companies to pay extra for the fast lane to get games to consumers. So then people have to go back to retail. People don't seem to understand that things like net neutrality say you can't impose data caps for certain companies, for certain, you know, policies that people want to make, even though we're still having the data cap problem. Think about how that could be compounded without net neutrality rules. Think about what Comcast could do to gamers to influence and actually change their gaming habits by refusing people access to certain types of video game outlets, perhaps Steam over PS4 or PS4 over Steam or Xbox over everything, because Xbox is Microsoft, which means it's an American company. We know how this current administration feels about American companies versus foreign companies. But the bigger point is that freedom of speech is, and the First Amendment is a very important part and a fundamental cornerstone of the United States of America. And it's something that other countries are striving to reach, this position where their ideas are protected, their fundamental feelings about things are respected, and their attempts to make games and put out messages that are focused on what they want to tell and what they want to share is actually seen and noticed. Good, bad, pro, con, left, right, doesn't matter. The internet should be neutral as to what it points us to. If we want to seek something out, we should be able to find it. And up until now, that has been the norm. And now there are people saying, well, we don't think that should be the norm anymore. And while they're talking about it from a business perspective, understand that when you pull one brick out of the bridge, eventually it's going to collapse. And the truth is that net neutrality is a fundamental suspension cable holding the bridge of the internet up as we currently understand it and we currently use it. And which is why I say again, I think for gamers, for people who use the internet every day, for people who, reach out across the internet and talk to people all over the world, where we are in an international community of gamers, where it's not just one person on an island by his or herself. When you fire up a game, you are saying that the international community of planet Earth matters, because you are playing something that was made by an international community of people from all different walks of life. And the internet supports that mentality, that you understand that we are a connected world, that while we are the product of individual nations and nation states and countries and continents, that we are individuals that are part of a bigger, more important international community that respects the power of the internet, the power of mediums, the power of games, books, movies, comic books, things that people in nerd culture and geek culture understand as just a given now. And especially people who are younger than us. For us who are in our 30s, we started without the internet, but now people are growing up in a world that has always had an internet, that has always had people connected. And a thing like net neutrality allows these people to see worlds that before you had to get on a plane to go see. I mean, we're now seeing it in virtual reality, where you can experience stuff from across the globe. A person can reach out from Chicago and talk to a classroom in South Africa, just as an example. Here's a perfect example. It's kind of like the idea that, you can have people doing a live safari on YouTube, and they're sending that information via the internet all across the world. I have always wanted to go on a safari. In case I didn't have the means to do that, there's a YouTube channel that allows you to do that. Think for a minute, the amount of stuff that you could potentially end up never seeing because somebody in an office in a suit who's more interested in how the business of the internet operates rather than the actual information of the internet operates decided that, well, that's not important enough to get the fast lane, because that group putting a video on a business website didn't pay the proper toll booth operators the amount of money they need to get that at high speed. So you're actually going to get that at a lower rate, and it's going to be harder for people to watch it because they're not paying their fair share either. But Serengeti.org will be able to show it to you for the fun-filled price of $129, and then you can see it at high speed all you want. That's the kind of thing that grinds my gears about this stuff, is that the internet as we understand it now is a place where things are allowed to be freely put up from wherever we want them to be and accessed freely without, having to get bogged down in, well, am I going to be able to access this content because have the gatekeepers shut down the superhighway to this site? And I think gamers fundamentally understand this concern. And I think, once again, it's time for gamers and for people who use the internet and people on YouTube and people on Twitch to say, we're not going to stand up for this. People on YouTube and Twitch and people who use the internet for business should come out in force against people who want to change net neutrality for the worse and want to change how we fundamentally use the internet for a few and screw everybody else who uses it on a daily basis for our businesses, for the way we work, for what we do, for the the one guy or gal on the ground with a single camera pointing it at themselves going, hey internet, how you doing? I think this is something that people need to pay attention to. I think it's something that people are going to need to rally behind, and I think everybody should be informed and prepared, because the guy who's about to head the FCC has said he does not support net neutrality, and that is bad for gamers and bad for people who use the internet. And that's my observation today. I would love to know what you guys think about this. If you guys have some comments and thoughts about net neutrality and where it stands, and if you have known about it, or if you're just learning about it now, or if this is something that doesn't really bother or interest you, I'd love to know why that's the case, and I'd love to hear your comments down below. And as always, if you guys like the videos that we're doing here on the Robservation, I hope you guys will consider clicking the like button. If you guys like the stuff that we're doing on the channel, I hope you will consider subscribing. And as always, there's a whole bunch of other videos on this channel that you can take a look at that talk about the Robservation, you know, stuff that we do on the Twitch channel, and new videos that are coming along as soon as I'm done talking into the camera here, because I have to go edit them. Anyway, that's going to do it for this Robservation. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you guys will consider clicking the like button, subscribing, and checking out all the other videos on the site. Be sure to catch me over at twitch.tv/gamecrashers for the random cast, where I make music, I play video games, and I commentate on the video game industry and other things, much like I do here on this channel. Just it so happens to be live as opposed to being pre-recorded and edited quite rapidly, and sometimes not as well as I'd like. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a fantastic Thursday. I will see you guys on Friday. There'll be another video coming out on Monday. And have a fantastic weekend. I will catch you over twitch.tv/gamecrashers. And until then, the motto, as always, is keep playing those video games. Stay safe, everybody. Be good to each other. And until next time, peace out. I don't think I'll ever show the other recordings, but whoo, boy. There were a couple that I was like, I'm getting a little angry. You won't like me when I'm angry.